The fastest way to get to all the manifestations that you want is to make peace with what is, to make peace with where you are, to soothe yourself, to feel better about your standing, your position right now. Because right now is the only manifestation that matters. Because where you are right now is where your point of attraction is. Where you are right now is so much more than the physical conditions, than the room that you're in, the phone that you're using, than the body, than all of the physical characteristics, the conditions. It's more about the vibrational characteristics. It's more about this now moment being the juncture between who you really are and who your physical self, who you're allowing your physical self to be. It's about how your point of attractions are meshing, because you are 2 points of attractions. You are offers of one point of attraction, and your inner being is the offer of the other point of attraction. And these emotions are about how well that is about the relationship, is how well they're driving in this moment. So that means that you have round the clock access to source energy. Source energy is literally who you are and is with you in every single moment. You can't help but be source. Source is never leaving your side. Source is with you right now. And the way that you know source is with you is because of your negative emotion. And you don't want to turn your negative emotion off. In fact, your negative emotion is just an indicator. An indicator of what? An indicator that you're running out of gas, that you're going in the wrong direction. It's like your GPS system. When you want your manifestations, the thing is, we're not teaching you how to manifest what you want. We're just teaching you, or we're imparting you the knowledge of the laws of the universe. We're telling you that you have already done all the creations. You've set everything that you want into motion. So now you can't do anything with your effort, because anything that you do from your effort is coming from a place of dissatisfaction with where you now are. Because if where you are right now is where all of your power is, because it's where your point of attraction is, then that means that this moment right now has to be what you're considering. Even when you're dreaming, because when you're daydreaming, when you're dreaming, when you're talking about what you want, I mean, the more money, the more this, the more that, even as you talk about what the laws of the universe, as you talk about all these things, you run the risk of being dissatisfied with where you stand. Because anytime you talk about the money that you've been wanting and the money that is in the vortex, you can't help but notice the money that you don't have. You can help but notice the absence of what you want. You just can't. And so that's the thing. You can't help but notice the absence. So how do you not notice absence? By being satisfied with where you now are. Because when you notice the absence, you can still feel good in the absence. That's what it's all about, right? Because here's the thing, everything that you want already exists in that vibrational form, and that vibrational form is going to mature into that physical manifestation. It will. It's a law of the universe. It's momentum, and you're not the one who's going to turn it into a thing. The law of attraction will. You just need to stop doing that thing that allows you to, or stop doing that thing that doesn't allow you to turn it into a thing. Stop doing that thing that doesn't allow you to have the momentum do all the work for you, because you're putting a stick in your wheel every time you come up with motives. Every time you have negative emotion, you're putting a stick in your wheel. You're catching yourself red-handed. So what you want, it exists, and right now you can vibrationally feel it. So as we talk about the absence is always perceived, and it's always really stupid. It's bogus, because that's the thing. It's not logical for anything to be absent when you understand that there is a vibrational reality. Because anytime you want something, your inner being immediately becomes a vibrational version of it. It rides that rocket so fast. So there's no absence, because the second that you want it, it becomes a reality. So what we're really talking about here is your perception of the absence. And now you understand that your job is to be satisfied. Your job isn't to manifest anything. Your job isn't to stand where you are right now and get all the way over there, because it's not gonna happen. Your job is to be satisfied. Your job is what? Satisfaction. Your job is to find satisfaction, and we're gonna talk a lot about satisfaction right now. But let's first talk about manifesting. Let's take it all the way back to, imagine a road trip. Imagine you're going from point A to point B, right? That's a journey that you can understand, because you're not going towards a destination that is invisible. You're not going towards a destination without your GPS system. You're not just driving and hoping you get somewhere. You understand this journey. It's measurable. It's quantifiable. And the thing is, all of your manifestations are the exact same way, except maybe you don't approach them that way. You don't accept. And it really does. It takes accepting a vortex. It takes accepting a vibrational reality that is right now and that will become physical. So at the end of your journey is that fully realized physical manifestation. And you have to understand that you're making your way towards all of these desires. What you want is over there, and you're over here. But the thing about talking about over there is you can't help but notice that you're over here. But the thing is, we want over here to no longer be a stressing point. We want this, where you stand right now, this condition. We want the condition of your body and the condition of your money and everything. We want the condition to be something that doesn't matter, because where you are is so much more prominent. But yet, even in talking about where you are, like we said, you're still going to notice where you are. And the thing is, we want where you are right now to not be an issue, because that's the thing. Reality is the only thing that's ever in the way of any of your manifestations. So now you understand that your job isn't to talk about goose up the money. Your job is to get satisfied. Even if it's not about the money, your job is to get satisfied on any subject, because now we understand that everything that you want is a sure thing. It's like this road trip, point A to point B. While you're driving, from point A to point B, maybe it's a 4-hour journey, and right as you're smacked up in the middle of it, you look around and you're like, oh my god, I'm not where I want to be yet. But you don't freak out because you understand the journey. You don't freak out. You soothe yourself. You find satisfaction in the absence of being at point B because you understand. You soothe yourself. You're like, okay, well, there's only 2 hours. I understand physics. I understand space and time. I understand there has to be a journey. And while I want to complain, like, I still have to wait 2 hours, and it's all good because it's just 2 more hours. I'm almost there. And you soothe yourself. And we want that manifestation to be the exact same way. We want you to champion yourself. We want you to understand that your work is to soothe yourself, to make yourself feel better, to unfurl those, those knots about where you are right now. Because being dissatisfied with where you are is the only thing that's ever keeping you stuck. Because if the fastest way to get to where you want to go is to make peace with where you are is the fastest way, then that must mean the thing that slows you down is not being okay with where you are. Because when you talk about the money that you know is in your vortex, you can't help but notice that the money isn't here right now yet. And some part of you is like, well, if it's so easy, then why don't I have it yet? And we're like, because you're not satisfied with where you are. So how do you find satisfaction with where you stand? Well, first of all, let's talk about satisfaction in a very theoretical way. Let's talk about satisfaction and the benefits of it first. So the thing about satisfaction is that it's sort of like the thing that stabilizes your vibration. When you talk about when you're satisfied first, and then you start daydreaming, and then you start talking about your desires, now 2 things happen. First of all, it's going to feel good. You're going to 100% be aware, because if you're someone who's not really very sensitive to your emotions, or you're not really aware of that sort of fine tuning of the emotion, meaning you're not really aware of emotions in a very fine tuning way, then satisfaction is what will help you awaken your guidance system. And let's say it better. Let's say that, well, not let's say, but what is happening is that this now moment is the only moment that you have. There's no other reality. This now moment is the only manifestation that matters. So while you're standing right here, you can, right where you stand, you can talk about the future, you can talk about the past, but whatever you're thinking about, you have to remember that you will still have a connection to a reality right now. Your satisfaction factor is here right now in this moment. And you know why your satisfaction factor is only about what you're doing right now? Because right now is the junction between you and you. Right now is between you and you, really. Right now is a meeting point between you and you. So that means that the satisfaction factor must be met. So while you're talking about the money, you're talking about the possibility of your money, the certainty of your money, the certainty of your book, the certainty of your fame. That dream is alive. It's really bright. But you also have to factor in the reality that you're in right now, because this is the thing about your manifestations, right? Is that you're over here and what you want's over there, but you're not gonna get over there. Over there is gonna come right over here. The thing is, you have to match it, and the easiest way to match it is to feel good. And when we say feeling, what do we really mean? We mean, as a result of this video, feeling satisfied, because feeling satisfied is the easiest way for you to understand what it really means to feel good in a way that's really actionable and understandable. You know what feeling satisfied feels like? Feeling satisfied just feels like, oh my god, like, I'm not where I want to be, and that's okay because I'm doing the best that I can, and it's okay because it's temporary. This moment's not gonna last forever, and it's okay. When I'm satisfied, you just want to be nice to yourself. You want to be easy. You want to soothe yourself. You want to make yourself feel better. You just want to tell yourself things like, it's okay. Like, I understand you. It's okay. Like, it's not a big deal. You're gonna get to everywhere you want to go. There's no risk. And the law of attraction, a balance. It's all good. Like, take it easy. Like this, that's your work. Your work is literally to do that, because you're not manifesting anything. The manifestation has already happened. Your job now is to prepare your atmosphere. Satisfaction is all about wanting something and going in the direction of it. That's the only place that satisfaction comes from. That's what the satisfaction factor is about. And that's the thing, the satisfaction factor is the only thing that's missing in all of your manifestations in the process. Because the thing is, in all of your processes, you can goose up your desire. You can talk about everything that you want. You can talk about the money. But the thing is, if you're not satisfied with where you are right now, then all that stuff is just going to highlight the fact that you don't feel good about where you stand right now. And so instead of dealing with that, I'm not satisfied. I'm dissatisfied with where I stand right now. Instead of, working on an emotional vibrational level, instead of reaching for the emotion, you're reaching for the manifestations that will one day be here, but that are not here right now. And that gap is agitated, meaning you can't help but notice where you are. So you need to be satisfied first, because then once you're satisfied, then you can start to explore. You can start to think about, the things that you've been wanting. And why satisfaction is so good? Because satisfaction factor is like playing the satisfied, dissatisfied game. So it's like, is this thought satisfying or is it dissatisfying? Because, when you're in bliss, you don't always want to be in bliss, because bliss is a high frequency. By the time you're in bliss, there's a lot of momentum that has undergone for you to reach that sort of crescendo. But the thing about bliss is that On the other side of bliss in the negative emotion territory is depression. The difference between the emotions, the relational experience is more stark. Whereas in satisfaction, the momentum is a lot lower. That's why satisfaction is kind of boring, because you're like, no, I want to drive fast. And we're like, well, drive fast, but you can drive fast. But when you're satisfied, you know how to really drive your car so you don't crash and you don't, crash and burn. And not only when you're not crashing and burn, but you're going to get to where you want to go. Because this is the thing. We're talking about a vibrational reality that will turn into a reality. But most importantly, we're talking about the manifestation. But we're also talking about a happy life. We're talking about you being able to fulfill yourself along this entire journey, because you're stuck here for all of eternity, because that's what you want and that's what we all are. And this universe is all about them, more. So we're trying to champion you on for that, because we know that you're a creator and that we know who you really are. We really do. And so who you really are is satisfied. So what does it really mean to be satisfied? Satisfied means that, I'm okay with where I stand. I'm okay with where I stand. I'm okay. Like, this is it. That, like, it just is what it is. And I'm okay with it, because I know that I'm going to get to where I want to go. And I'm so excited to get to where I want to go. But the thing is, in me being excited to get to where I want to go, like, I'm still okay with where I am right now. That's the peace. You need to be okay with where you are. You need to make peace with where you are. You need to make peace with reality. And when you make peace with reality, you're going to go fast. And when you're satisfied, you can understand your guidance system better, because you will feel yourself dip into that dissatisfaction territory, and it's more understandable. Whereas when you're in bliss, it's a little harder, because that negative emotion is just so big in your face, while dissatisfaction is like a small pinch, but you deal with it. And as you deal with it, you calibrate faster, and you don't have to deal with those emotions, because the negative emotions, they will build. Negative emotions, if you don't do anything, they will build until your mind, your head is spinning with thoughts that you don't feel good about. Your body hurts. All these things are symptoms of negative emotions, and we're telling you what they're really symptoms of is dissatisfaction that grows. So where you are right now, find satisfaction in it. Find as much satisfaction, even if it's not on the subject, on the desire. It can be anything. Your job is to find satisfaction. Your job is to make peace with where you are. Your job is to be like, you know what, I am where I am, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. I'm okay with where I am. Like, I'm not so obsessed with going over there, because when you're so obsessed with going over there, you never quite make it there, because it was never about going over there. You want to reach for the emotion. You want to have an emotional conversation. It was never about the money. It's never, for example, it's not a conversation like, I know the money exists. I'm so excited for the money. The money's going to feel so good when I have it. Like, I'm just so ready for the money. I'm so ready. It's more of a question of, I'm so ready for the manifestation, and I'm so satisfied with where I am right now. Like, I'm so satisfied with that knowing, like, it's okay that I don't have it right now. I'm just so excited for it. I'm just so excited for it to all flesh out. Like, I'm just enjoying the path. I'm enjoying the satisfaction right now. I'm just so satisfied. I love where I am. I love how this is going. I know I'm going to get there. It's so certain. My path is certain. I know I'm going to have everything that I want. I feel it. And I'm so satisfied with where I stand right now. I'm so okay with where I stand right now. And I love where I am right now. I love life. And I love just this exploration. That's momentum. That's momentum. And the thing about satisfaction is that it's boring at first. We know it's slow, but that momentum picks up, because the thing is, when it's really interesting, because when you start from satisfaction, you can tell whether you're dipping into a lower frequency really quick. You can catch it, because it's so, like, it's easy. It's very, like, easy to notice. It's very fast. You can, because there's not a lot of momentum, so you can tell which way you're going. So when you know that you're satisfied, it will build, and it will build to that crescendo, and it will be full force. And that's the thing. There won't be a tug of war, but when we feel like the reason why you feel like there's a tug of war is because you activate desire, and then your belief is there. You activate desire, and then your resistance gets activated too. There's a wobble in your frequency, and as you go higher, because you have your desire, you can get that good momentum going. Your resistance gets just as big. So when you're up on those higher frequencies, it's like flip flop. It's like, I want it, but I want it, but I want it, but I want it, but, and you never quite win. You never, because the momentum never really gets going. That's what law of attraction is a subject about momentum. So in order to get your momentum going, you want to start from a place where your foundation is good, and satisfaction is that foundation that will guarantee you high frequencies and your ability to receive, because your job is to receive the frequency. Your job is to be on the frequency long enough that you don't short circuit yourself, and you stay on the frequency long enough that you can actually start to receive guidance. You can start to receive the impulses about what to do next, ideas of what to do next, because you know all this. You get there, and then you notice that you're not there, and you get so mad about that. And we're like, satisfaction is what will stabilize your frequency. Satisfaction will allow there to be basically like no leaks, no resistance, small or big. And as you're satisfied, you're just going to notice that you're going to have such a happy life, because this moment is satisfying, and the next, it's not really so big. It was never about getting there anyways. It's just about enjoying your life, because that's what a true master does. That's what a genius does. The geniuses, they were doing that. They weren't doing anything with their action. They just found ways to be satisfied with the dream that they had. They found the dream so satisfying that they were making peace with their reality. And you can ask them, and they'll say, well, I still had action, but it's against the law of the universe. And they're not really telling you the truth, because no one created anything with action. Everyone created everything more with their vibration, and then action was afterwards. Action was a natural natural currents of momentum. And that's really it. Ultimately, you can do this. Go and get satisfied now. Go have fun. Go get satisfied. Feel good about where you stand. Tell yourself soothing stories. Tell yourself that it's okay where you are. Like, it's all good, because I know there's a vortex out there and you're going to have everything that you want, because it's certain. I felt it, and it's okay where we are. It's okay where I am right now. It's all good, because I'm going to get to everywhere I want to go, and I'm not in a rush. I'm okay with where I stand, and I love where I stand, and it's all good.